What's up? What's up? What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. We are live on this beautiful Sunday, April the 19th, 2020. Another beautiful day, man. I just hope everybody's doing well. I'm gonna give y'all a few minutes to come into the room. I know it's definitely been a couple of days now. Taking care of a lot of things. And I can't wait for this draft, man. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to hear from some of you guys. We're about to have an amazing show, guys. So get ready. Strap your seatbelt in. We're about to have some fun, man. We got a lot to talk about over the last 3-4 days, man. We have a lot to talk about, man. Somebody said new setup. No, this isn't a new setup. If y'all didn't know, we just moved like a month and a half ago. And they had to paint the house. So I took a lot of the stuff down, but I should be back up and running let me just say I should be back by the draft with the usual y'all already know the usual. So had to get some work done, but I'm glad I see, man, y'all are in this comment section. We already got 116 people watching. Don't forget to hit that like button on your way in. Guys, also you could always catch my content on dolphinstalk.com. All right, make sure that you check me out. My content is also released on dolphinstalk.com, but it's also a great source for you to also find content and things like that for different Dolphin writers, different Dolphin YouTubers. There's a lot of guys on that site, so check it out. Somebody said great quality. Yeah, man, the camera's looking real sharp today, and I don't like it because it's picking up my lack of an edge and all of that good stuff, man. Y'all bear with me, man. Don't kill me for my appearance, man. I'm looking a little rough around the edges, but I'm gonna be looking rough until Wednesday, because when we come on Thursday, I want to be sharp. You know, like Pop say, you got to coordinate. I want to be sharp, man. So y'all bear with me with the lack of haircut, lack of edge work going on here. Y'all gonna have, hey, y'all listen. Some of y'all ain't no better than me right now, so I ain't even worried, man. But listen, today's video is titled Miami will not draft Tua Tagovailoa, WONDERLIC 13-19. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Fournette. We're going to talk about a lot of the rumors going on around the league. We got so much to discuss, guys. Also, if you can check me out on Instagram at TDPHINSTALK. The Twitter is at TDPHINSTALK. My Facebook page, TDPHINSTALK as well. You can just find me almost everywhere, TDPHINSTALK, all right? Mason Asqueta said WONDERLIC is irrelevant. It's not irrelevant, and we're going to talk about it. See, some of y'all want to make every excuse in the world. Every excuse. Now, let me give a little. Let me go ahead and say this now. Let me say this now. When I wrote the title that says Miami will not draft Tua Tagovailoa, WONDERLIC 13-19, it's not that they're not going to draft him because his WONDERLIC was 13 or 19. So I don't want y'all to think that. I'm going to tell you why they're not going to draft him. And also, that has a little bit to do with it, but not a huge factor at all. But it's still, we'll talk about it. So I don't want y'all to think that the title means because of his WONDERLIC is the reason why they're not going to draft him. That's one of the many reasons. So let's get that straight now. I don't want y'all to get a misconception. We're going to talk about it. And I'm going to hopefully give y'all an interesting perspective, whether you agree or not. I just try to give my perspective, an interesting perspective to open your mind and really get you thinking about how you run an organization, how you select players, and how you make great decisions for your franchise, all right? We're also probably going to dig into Chris Grier's interview that he did with some of the writers in the Miami area, the local media. We're going to dive into that a little. We're definitely going to dive into the Grier interview. I might even play it and break it down because there's a lot to break down on that. There's a lot to break down. Some people have this, but we're going to break it down. Like I said, TD is a reader of words. I dive in and see what the meaning behind the words that are saying. There's a lot to break down with Chris Grier, and we're going to talk about it, man. So we got a lot going on, but before we get started, I want to check in with y'all. How y'all doing, man? What y'all talking about in the comment section here? If he can complete a downfield pass, I don't care about his calculus skills. Hey, WONDERLIC has nothing to do with calculus, okay? I actually took a practice WONDERLIC test and got a 31. and I still didn't even finish. I think I didn't finish 8 questions. I didn't even finish the test. And just so you know, a Wonderlic is 50 questions that calculates 4 different categories, okay? Like reasoning, decision making, 4 categories. It's 50 questions and you get 12 minutes to do it, okay? So for one thing, speed is a factor. It's almost like 12 questions. You really get 15 seconds per question. That's why I didn't finish it. You know, I'm the type of person, I'm a kinesthetic person. If you don't know what kinesthetic means, it means you're the type of person that needs hands-on to do something. You need to do it with somebody, you know, or somebody has to actually walk you through it versus just tell you or you read it. So that's why I didn't finish the test, because I had to read every question 2 times before I processed it, because I'm kinesthetic. I'm not a read-write person. So I never finished it. All right. But I got a 31. I got a 31 on the practice test. And the practice test is just like taking a test. It's just different verbiage and different question. And I didn't finish 8 questions. Does that make me a genius? No, because I didn't even finish the test. But compared to some people, 13, 19, whatever score you want to take. We ain't getting into that yet. We're not getting into that yet. We'll talk about that in just a moment, man. We will talk about that in just a moment. 31 is good. It's actually really good. I was actually shocked. I expected to get like a 25 maybe, but 31 was really good for me to get. I was shocked, and I didn't finish it. If I would have actually didn't need to read every question that I read twice, I probably would have gotten somewhere around a 38. Or something like that, you know, if I would have finished it. Who knows? I could have got all the rest of them wrong. Who knows? But we're going to break it down. Well, you know what? Breon, what up, homie? My homie Bree in the room. What's up, Graven? I see you too, man. Bree said, are you trying to say you're smart? I'm not trying to say anything. I'll let y'all conclude that, you know? See, I just stay neutral, baby. I ain't trying to, hey, listen, I ain't trying to put myself on a pedestal, man. Y'all decide that. All right. Yes, it's time. You only get 12 minutes to take a Wonderlic. You only get 12 minutes to take a Wonderlic, man. All right. You know what? Let's dive in. Since I'm seeing all these crazy responses in the comment section about, Wonderlic doesn't mean anything. Let's break something down. Wonderlic, let me tell you why. First of all, if it didn't mean anything, they wouldn't even give it to him to take. Okay, if it didn't mean anything, they wouldn't give it to him to take. So for the simple fact that they give it to him to take, that means there is some type of factor that they use it for in making decisions. You know, some GMs may say, I don't put much merit into it. And some GM, you know, what was his Wonderlic? You know, I'm interested in knowing. Let me tell you why it's important to know a quarterback's Wonderlic. Now, a Wonderlic isn't the end all be. You can have a 13 score, which means that you're barely literate, and still be the greatest of all time. I'm just saying, you know, I'm throwing that out there. But let me help you understand at the quarterback position. See, in my opinion, and I want to put strong emphasis on the word opinion. In my opinion, a Wonderlic is more important for a quarterback than any other player. Let me tell you why. A wide receiver has his route. He needs to do his job and run his route. Wonderlic isn't going to tell you that much about a wide receiver. Like Jerry Jeudy scored a 9. Those Alabama, man. Whew. Jerry Jeudy scored a 9 on his Wonderlic. But run your route. Now, if he has option routes, if a team wants to draft Jerry Jeudy and they have a complex offense that includes option routes, now you may want to say, what is his Wonderlic? Because he has to be able to read the defense, and if they're in the zone, his route is different from if he's in man. So if you have option routes, you want a better Wonderlic because he's going to make a fast decision and the right one. That's what a Wonderlic helps you identify. He's going to make the right decision and make it fast. So if we're running option routes, I want to know what my receiver that I'm about to draft, his Wonderlic. But if you're just running your routes, this is your route. We call that play. You know your route, no option routes. I don't care about our Wonderlic. And that's the same way in many positions on the field, except defense. You really want to know their Wonderlic on defense because they got to identify the formation. They got to identify the personnel. They got to be able to make quick decisions. They got to be able to make quick decisions. It doesn't mean the player sucks. The player can be the most athletic ever. But decision-making and making it fast, that's what they identify more than anything on the Wonderlic. So you know who has to make a decision and do it fast on every play? See, defense has to make that decision before the play and a little bit of decisions during the play. But they got to identify things before the play, the personnel, the formation, all of that before the play. But a quarterback, he has to do it during the play. Now, I know some of y'all deem me the Tua hater, but I have been consistent about one thing. I have said to you all, I said that the thing about Tua, of course, is injuries, whatever. But the thing about Tua is he literally already knows where he wants to go with the ball. It's like basic perfection. He has all the tools you need to be great. But a few things that stand out to me when I watch Tua Tagovailoa that are really concerning is when he plays the best of the best. When he plays some of the greatest defense. They were on ESPN the other day. It was shocking to me. I said, wow, where was this when I've been needing it, trying to help people understand this all this time? Literally on ESPN, they said, slow your boat on Tua. Against the top defenses in the NFL, he has 9 interceptions. He has 9 interceptions, and everybody else, I think he had like 1 or something like that. But against the top defenses. And then they broke it down and said, why? Because his mind is already made up. So when people talk about the national championship, how he looked off the safety and delivered a perfect throw, and I've been arguing with people on this channel, and this is what I've been arguing. I said, y'all call that a perfect throw? Yes, it was a perfect throw. But it was a risky play. And here's why. Tua Tagovailoa takes the snap. He drops back to pass. He's looking right the whole time, looking the safety off. This is all good. These are mechanics, looking the safety off. That's what he's supposed to do. But when he comes back left, he looks left and he throws the ball. He never evaluated what was happening on the left side. Luckily, he plays with one of the best receivers in the league, and that receiver has 6 feet separation on the play. And it was a touchdown in the national championship game. Oh, Tua Tagovailoa. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what you call a Hail Mary, an organized one. But when they broke down all the interceptions he made, and actually they found 3 that I never saw. What I've been telling y'all was evident. He will look off a guy, come back, throw the ball, never read the defense, picked off because you know why? In that situation, the receiver didn't beat the corner. He just threw where his guy should have been, but unfortunately, it was better defense, a top team, and they picked the ball off. Tua Tagovailoa ain't making the decisions that y'all think he making. Look at how he looked the safety off and threw that ball. You don't have to just worry about the safety. That receiver that you're about to throw to, he also has a man covering him, and we just automatically disregard that man and just throw the rock. That's what Tua Tagovailoa is, ladies and gentlemen. He's a guy that if everybody's where they're supposed to be doing their job, he will look like the greatest of all time. But when you come into the NFL, everybody's going to try to do their job, but you're going to be going against some of the best cornerbacks that played the game. And that's what scares me about him. But they automatically give him a check mark of reading defenses and decision making. And for the life of me, that you can't give a guy a check mark in those areas just because he looks off a safety and come back and throw it, no matter what the situation is. Tua Tagovailoa on all his interceptions and the ones that are touchdowns and the deep throws, most of them, he's not even looking at the receiver. He just throws it because he knows where he's supposed to be. And that's what the Wonderlic tells you. Decision making at a moment's notice. If he was good at making decisions at a moment's notice, he wouldn't have even thrown those picks. And when you actually go look at those interceptions, the embarrassing part about it is they're not even close, y'all. They're not even close. It's not like the defender and the receivers fighting for the ball. No, the interceptions are like easy cherry picking interceptions for the defense because they're guessing on what he's going to do because he's a guy that you can guess on. Tua Tagovailoa is the type of guy that if Rashard Jones studied his film, Rashard Jones would eat him up. He would eat him up all over the field. He would interception after interception because Rashard Jones is the type that loves to take those chances. He loves taking those chances, and he goes to get them. And Tua Tagovailoa is the type of quarterback that'll give them to him because he doesn't processing and decision making. When you look at his film, all you care about is the touchdowns. But watch those touchdowns and watch all the separation his receiver has, and he's where he's supposed to be, ball already thrown. But watch the interceptions. You can easily say, why would he even throw that? You know why? Because he used to throwing it, and his receiver's usually where he's supposed to be. But this is the NFL. Your receiver isn't going to automatically be where they're supposed to be with the good jam at the offensive line, with the good coverage. Just because you look a safety off, that means nothing in the NFL. And that's why the Wonderlic does matter. The Wonderlic definitely matters because it's helping you identify with the quarterback if he can make great decisions in a quick moment's notice. Y'all mark my words, and I'm going to say this right now. Tua Tagovailoa in the NFL is going to throw a lot of interceptions. That's me. I'm going out there and I'm telling y'all right now, Tua Tagovailoa is going to throw a lot of interceptions in the NFL. And they're going to bait him into them. And it's good. Y'all mark my words. I said it here and you heard it here first. He's going to throw interceptions, a lot of them in the NFL. Safety's going to go ahead and follow his eyes and communicate with the corner. Just play the go route. Just play the go route. They're going to know the formation. They're going to know the play that's coming. And the safety's going to go there and he's going to throw that ball up and it's going to get picked off a lot. You know why? He doesn't care about the other side. Long as he did his mechanics, he looked the safety off, and he's relying on his receiver one-on-one. Y'all mark my words. You mark my words. The man is going to throw a lot of interceptions. And that's what the Wonderlic is telling you in this situation. The Wonderlic doesn't mean anything. Time will tell, ladies and gentlemen. This is another one of those situations where people are easily going to say TD done lost his mind. He's a hater, X, Y, and Z. And then when it happens, they're going to be like, ain't nobody, very few people are going to come back and be like, bro, you were right. They're not going to do that like with Tunsil when I said he was going to get traded and I got killed for it. And you know what? Like many things that I've said and I've gotten killed for. Mark my words, this kid is going to throw a lot of interceptions in the NFL. Time will tell, ladies and gentlemen, and that's why the Wonderlic is important. But let me go further and answer the question of why Miami will not draft Tua Tagovailoa. Because if they draft Tua Tagovailoa, it will literally mean that Chris Grier and Brian Flores have no structure in their decision-making. When you go into your evaluation of players, everybody gets a score on your big board at the end of the day. And all y'all Tua lovers, listen closely here. And because you cannot disagree with this. And if you do, you do. Whatever. Everybody gets evaluated. They rank their board not based off of who they like, because they like a lot of people. You heard Grier the other day at number 5, there's 9 players on the board that we like, that we would be fine with just taking. we'll be fine. There's 8 or 9. I forgot which one he said. 8 or 9 players we'd be fine with taking if we could get in the first round. So there's no going wrong at 5. Okay. But out of those 8 players, when you're on the board, you have to literally rank your guys. And we all have to ask ourselves, how do you come up with the rankings, Miami? It's easy. First of all, like Greer said, you look at tape, you look at a lot of tape. And when you rank all the players in this draft, before Tua Tagovailoa's injury, he might have been number 1, 2, or 3 on their board. So a lot of y'all will say, oh, he would have definitely been number 1. Like I said, he would have been 1, 2, or 3, depending on how the team values certain positions and certain players. And that would have been the top of the board. So you have your players ranked on who you like based off of film and everything they've accomplished, right? Then you go on with the injuries. Now you're going with the injuries. After you evaluate the injuries, listen, if you disagree, you just a Tua lover. Everybody knows Tua is probably number 5, 6, or 7 or 8 on the big board when you add injuries in. On the Miami Dolphins big board, he's probably 5, 6, 7, or 8 when you add injuries in. Then when you add testing like the WONDERLIC, the background check, and all of that type of stuff, Tua Tagovailoa to me falls somewhere between 7 and 9. He falls 7 and 9. All these things just keep subtracting. When you look at the other prospects, a lot of theirs, actually some of them go up. The WONDERLIC doesn't tell you everything about a player. They can have a 13 or a 19, like where the 13 was Tua's junior year. The 19 was what he took at the combine. So Tua did take a test at a combine. Okay. So the 13 that everybody has isn't his score. He actually took it again this year at the combine and got a 19, just so you know. Because some people still out here throwing out the 13 number. That's when he took it in 2018. So he did improve to a 19 recently. Okay. So that was his WONDERLIC. Actually a 19, if I'm not mistaken. I believe I'm 1,000% correct on that. But when you add everything up, the kid has the medical falling against him and he has the testing going against him. This team, based off of what I heard from Chris Greer, they're going to take the best player available. And when you put everybody on the big board and you go, because everybody has a score. So let's just hype it. I don't know what the Dolphins score radar goes up to. It could go up to 100. It could go up to 10. But let's use 10. Okay. This is an example. There are probably like 10 factors that go into it, but they all also have weights to them. When it comes to pure skill and play on the field, Tua Tagovailoa probably scores 9 out of 10 to them. But out of 10 on their big board, it probably only gives them like 6 points. And then they have to evaluate the injuries. He probably has a 0 in that category. He gets 0 points while some of the other prospects may get 1 or 2 points for it. Then you take testing into consideration. If Miami Dolphins were to draft Tua Tagovailoa, they were literally, because it's impossible, y'all. It's impossible to have him graded. We're not talking about whether they think he's the best player or not. It is impossible to have him graded higher than at least 6 people in this draft class. It's impossible. It's impossible to have him graded higher than at least 6, 7 players in this draft. When you get 0 points for your grade in medical, when you have a very low points on your score in testing, it is almost impossible to literally have this kid graded higher than at least 7 players in this draft. So if on your big board you have this guy graded number 7 and you're picking at 5, it would make no sense whatsoever to draft Tua Tagovailoa. at all. It just wouldn't make any sense, because that means you're passing over a player that you have graded higher just to go get Tua Tagovailoa. Now, I understand some people's argument, yeah, but they need a quarterback. But guess what? The same player that's going to be available is a position that I'm confident we're going to need. There's probably 2 offensive linemen right now that are graded for the Miami Dolphins higher than Tua Tagovailoa, and at least one of them will be there at 5. Let me repeat that. There are at least 2 offensive linemen right now that have to be graded higher than Tua Tagovailoa when you put it all together. And at least one of them will be there at 5. At least one of them. It's a given, man. So, again, for them, if they literally go draft Tua Tagovailoa, they would be going against their own beliefs and their own system. And if they do that, I'm going to tell y'all now, y'all may not like it, but it's going to be the Miami Dolphins doing more of the same. It's going to be the Miami Dolphins doing more of the same. And at some point, we got to change that more of the same and make the right decision. And the right decision is to draft whoever's available at a needed position that's the highest on your big board. Whoever is available at a needed position, if they're higher than Tua Tagovailoa at your draft pick, that's the right decision to make. Any other decision is more of the same. Now, if I'm wrong, that means their big board still has Tua Tagovailoa whenever they do their grading system still that high. I just can't see that. I just do not see that. You think Tua Tagovailoa is graded higher than Joe Burrow right now? Come on. You think he's graded higher than Chase Young? Come on. You think he's graded higher than Simmons, Okuda, Brown? That's 5 players right there. You think when you put it all together, I ain't talking about, but Tua's a better football player. No, you don't make the draft pick off of who you just automatically think is better. You have a grading system, a system that you use in every category gets a certain amount of points. And at the end of the day, who is the highest prospect that gives you the highest probability to help this team wins? That's what they go off of. That's how you make your big board. That's how an organization makes their big board. Highest graded player based off of our evaluation. Tua Tagovailoa is not rated higher than none of the 5 players that I just mentioned. So once again, if we pick them at 5, that's my point exactly. That means it's more of the same, making decisions off of your feelings instead of the right one based off of what your evaluation tells you. And I don't think we're going to do it whatsoever. I can't see the organization that I've been proud of for the last 365 days. I cannot see, maybe more like 420 days, whatever, since we got Flores. I can't see them making that decision. It wouldn't make any sense to me. Shout out to Pete. He said guaranteed Dolphins ride with Rosen, not draft Tua. We shall see. But Rosen, that's a shaky one to say. We'll see. G Lovett also said that number 5 pick can turn into 2 extra first round picks. G Lovett, I think that might be likely if they don't like the way the draft is going. Chris Dela Cruz with the donation also said, if not Tua, then what QB do you want us drafting? Or do we not draft the QB this year? I personally feel like now back up for a second, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say this as well. Just because I don't think we're going to draft Tua Tagovailoa doesn't mean. Here's the thing. I should have put the Miami Dolphins will not draft Tua Tagovailoa at number 5. That's what I should have wrote. Matter of fact, when this video is over, I might go back and edit it and say Miami Dolphins will not draft Tua Tagovailoa at 5. Because hypothetically, if we trade the pick out with the Jacksonville and get their 9th pick, we might draft Tua Tagovailoa at 9 then, because he might be one of the 9th highest rated players on our board. That's a different story. But at 5, I don't see that happening. There are players right now that have a much greater probability of being successful in the NFL than Tua Tagovailoa. Because when you put their grade together, they don't have the injury factor. They test well. They played well in college. See, what we're doing is we want to pass up on all these players that have all these green check marks just so that we can get a player who has 2 green check marks and 4 red check marks because we like those 2 green check marks so much. As good as Tua played at the quarterback position in college, Simmons played just as good at the linebacker position in college or whatever position you want to pick for Simmons, the multi positions. So we got a player that's playing just as good at his position, if not better at his position. Let's just say just as good, so I ain't got to argue. But he don't have the injury red flag. He also tests well. All of those things factored in, and we want to go with the guy that has a few red check marks. Again, making that decision is doing more of the same that we did in the past, and I can't see that happening. I couldn't dare see us actually making that kind of decision. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. And people say QB is more important than linebackers. Lies. Y'all keep believing that old folktale in the NFL. You keep believing that old folktale crap in the NFL. QB is more important. The team is more important. Everybody like, oh, well, you need a good QB to win a Super Bowl. There's been non-good QBs that won a Super Bowl. And then when you look at all those teams that had a good QB, everybody want to ignore the coaching staff. Somebody sent me that earlier, and I appreciate them sending me that because it made a good point. We want to literally ignore the coaches they also have, the coaching staffs that those quarterbacks have. Go look at them. Go look at all those quote unquote, you need a great QB to win a Super Bowl, and go look at their coaching staff. That's what I sit here and act like they didn't have wonderful coaching staffs. Great coaching staffs. Miss me with that crap. Tom Brady throws over 500 yards in a Super Bowl with 4 touchdowns and lose the game. Miss me with that crap. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I can't back that up. I'm sorry if I don't think that the quarterback position is the most important and you do. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I just can't. I can't back that up. I cannot back that up. Let's not ignore the coaches that those guys have as well and the team around them. Look how many really good quarterbacks don't win nothing because of the team around them. And another thing, I don't know how many times I got to bring up Dan Marino's name. I don't know how many times I got to bring up Dan Marino's name. Because if that's the case, then where's his Lombardi? Where's his Lombardi? Miss me with that mess, man. Y'all, let me stop because people say I be rude and I be talking to people wrong and stuff like that. I'm trying, y'all. It's just when I hear certain things, it's like these old folktale beliefs, just because the media glorifies the quarterback position because they want to be so lazy that they don't want to do the research on the rest of the team. So it's easy for them to come on TV and talk about the quarterback, the face of the team, the face of the team, the face of the team. Just because that's what they've installed in your brain, let's open up our mind a little. Let's just be a little receptive to maybe it takes a whole team with a good coaching staff to win it all. Maybe everything. See, maybe quarterback isn't the most important position, but it's 11 guys on the field at once that's most important. The right combination of 11 guys. Because if the quarterback was most important, I'm still searching high and low for Dan Marino's Lombardi. Let me say that one more time for y'all. If quarterback was the most important position, I'm still searching high and low for Dan Marino's Lombardi. Now, I haven't been able to see it, but we got 337 people watching right now. Can any of y'all enlighten me in the comment section of where I can find that at? I'm just saying, because I don't know everything. That's why I'm asking some of y'all. Help me find Dan Marino's Lombardi. And then I'll start believing quarterback is the most important thing. Help me find Matt Ryan's Lombardi. I can name quite a few guys. Help me find their Lombardi. Please help me, y'all, because I believe Dan Marino's the greatest of all time. I truly do. Anybody ever asked me that, Dan Marino? So what? So what, Dan Marino? If he had one Lombardi, then we could actually argue it. But I'm still sticking with Dan Marino, regardless. I literally argue with people. Who's your greatest quarterback of all time? Dan Marino. He ain't even got a Super Bowl. Dan Marino. I don't care. Dan Marino, greatest quarterback of all time. Dan Marino, Dan Marino, Dan Marino. Dan Marino. Somebody said Cam Newton's Lombardi. My point exactly. MVP of the NFL. At one point, the next greatest of all time. Help me find a Lombardi's, and then let's talk about quarterback is most important. Once again, I'm going to say this before I'm going to move on from this point, but I'm going to say this one more time. All these general football fans that believe everything the media tell you just because that's the position they hype up. Which I got to understand it's easy to hype up just the quarterback position because it's the most sexy position. It's the leader of the team. I mean, you can go back to Pop Warner. Everybody want to know who's the little quarterback. Who's the quarterback? That's what they want to glorify. The quarterback. I coach Pop Warner. Everybody want to glorify the quarterback, but the 3 years in a row we won a championship, it was them two defensive ends that got it done. It was them two defensive ends I was coaching that got it done. The other team couldn't get nothing off. Quarterback hiked the ball, already done. It's over for him. Quarterback done. He on the ground. And the quarterback was good, but it was them defensive ends that allowed one touchdown all 3 seasons combined. One touchdown. And it was at the end of the game when we were putting the younger kids in the reserves. It was in the fourth quarter, and they ran the ball right up the middle and scored like a 60-yard touchdown. Literally, one of the last games of the season. 3 seasons, 1 touchdown allowed. 3 seasons, 1 touchdown allowed. Them 2 defensive ends was putting in work. There were games we only scored 7. There were games we scored 14. There's a lot of games we scored over 40 too. But Mr. The quarterback is the sexy position. Who's the quarterback? Who's the quarterback? Middle school, high school, college. Who's the quarterback? Who's the face of the team? Who's the face of the team? Kills me, man. That's why quarterback position is most important. No, it's just the one you hear the most about because TV analysts, it pays their bills to talk about the quarterback because that's what people want to hear about their knight in shining armor, the quarterback. That's why it's the quote unquote the most important position because most people reporting about teams are too lazy to report about the rest of the team. Too lazy to do it. You ever hear them talking about a defensive end and talk about his techniques, his this technique or his that technique, how he does this, how he does that, how he whiffs on plays, how he bull rushes, how he blah, blah, blah. Do you ever hear him talk about defensive ends like that? No, you just hear him say general terms. This defensive end is a motor. He just abuses everybody in front of him. But they don't talk terms, but you hear about a quarterback's accuracy. You hear about a quarterback's precision. You hear about his decision. You hear about everything about a quarterback, but you don't hear all the details about the other players. You know what it's called? Laziness from the people who are giving it to y'all. And you know why? Because you soak it up. Quarterback is not the most important position. The team is. And the sooner we start to understand that, the sooner you'll understand what it takes to build a winning team. The sooner you'll understand what it takes to build a winning team. You think Russell Wilson would have won a Super Bowl without that defense? I could remove 2 players from that defense and he wouldn't have a Lombardi. Shout out to Quint Riddle with the donation. Said, no quarterback this year. I repeat, no quarterback this year. Please. There are too many other blue chip players in this draft. That brings me back to the last question because I never really answered it. If not Tua, then who? If Tua's there at 9, if we trade out of that pick, TD would go Tua Tagovailoa. For all y'all who think I'm always hating, if we traded out of that pick and he's there at 9, I would go Tua Tagovailoa. Because I know he's probably going to be the highest guy rated on the Miami Dolphins board at 9, but not 5. It's hard for me to believe he's the highest player rated on their board at 5. Very hard for me to believe that. If he's available at 18, of course you take him. But in a world where we don't trade and we're at 5 and we don't go Tua, and you said then whoever's available at 18, whether that's Herbert or Love, that's who I would actually go with. The highest rated guy on your board that's available at that position. I would love to get it at 18 instead of 5. I think who we get at 5 at the skill position, at the positional player, is going to be more impactful than getting Tua Tagovailoa at 5. So I would get best player available at 5 that can help this team. And at 18, if Tua's there, I get him. If Herbert's there, I get him. If Love's there, I get him. If none of them are there, then I go get me from a Hurts later on. With no expectation that they're going to be the greatest of all time. But again, you never know. You never know if one of those guys is going to turn out to be the next Brady. You never know, especially if you build a team with everything around them. Especially if you build a team with everything around them. That's what kills me too, how everybody writes off all these other guys because they're second rounders or third rounders. Don't you? Oh my God, it almost makes me want to vomit to say this. Don't you wish that we would have drafted Brady in the first round back then? Oh, that hurt. Knowing what you know now, if you knew it then, you'd be begging to draft Brady in the. So it's all a matter of scouting, making decisions based off of your scouting, your evaluation, and your big board of what players have the highest ranking. Excuse me. It's that simple. Now, in a scenario where we don't go quarterback this year, everybody has this perception like we have to get a quarterback this year. Now, it doesn't make it easier that the organization has come out and said we're trying to identify our quarterback this year. So I get that. But let's not forget, it's not a mandatory. You still got Fitz for a year, and you still got Rosen behind him. And I already know some people probably like, oh, here come the Rosen talk. Y'all heard Greer presser? Y'all heard Greer's presser. What did he say? And Josh Rosen, we gave him a lot of things, y'all. And honestly, y'all get mad at me. But Greer was the one making excuses for Rosen. People get mad at me, but Greer was the one making excuses for Rosen. People have to understand, the kid, coming off of his first year, he's so young, and then getting a new coach, and then he gets traded away, and then he comes to a new team with a new system late, and trying to figure it out. He's so young, he's been given a whole bunch of things, and he's done a really good job in improving in those areas. He's done a really good job in improving in those areas. These are Greer's words. Less than a week ago. So we can't wait to see what he's going to do. These are Greer's words. He's been improving in these areas. Now, again, I already told y'all for the record, that means nothing to me. Rosen is a slim chance, if you ask me. He got to go out there and wow people. It's on him. So that don't mean I'm writing them off, but it also don't mean I'm putting every egg in my basket of faith for him based off of the current circumstances. But you got Fitzpatrick this year. It's not a rush. If you want to build a team right, because what everybody wanted to say is we got 2 more years to build, this year and next year, and we should have our team. That's what people said, right? Last year was to clean it out. This year was to add additional players, and next year to top it off, and now we're ready to roll. That's what everybody wanted to say. So if this is a 2-year plan, then what's the rush? Why do we think that, oh, if we don't get a quarterback this year, then it's a failure? What are we doing? No. If the chips don't fall where they need to fall, you still got next year. And let me tell you a little secret for y'all who don't follow college. I don't follow college much, but one thing I've learned over the last month, next year, deeper and better quarterback class. Let me say that one more time. Next year, the college group that's coming out at the quarterback position is deeper and better. Deeper and better. But we just so much in a rush to bring somebody in who, based off of conventional belief, ain't gonna play this year anyway. We're in such a rush to bring somebody in who ain't gonna play this year anyway. That's what at least we believe. That's what we believe. So if chips don't fall the way we want them to fall, which everything ain't gonna be perfect. Look at Jadeveon Clowney. We wanted Clowney. We gave Clowney a $17 whatever million offer. He said, no, I want 20. We went out and we got Van Noy and Ogbar instead for the price of one. We move on. Now look at Clowney. And I think we're better for it. Same situation, Clowney, an injury-prone guy, prone to injury guy, coming off of something that's nasty that you got to keep your eye on. And instead, we got two guys to fill the void of one. So if one of our guys go down, we still got one guy out of the deal. But if Clowney was to go down, we just up the creek. In trouble. In trouble. And I personally hope that if the player Miami wants outside of Tua isn't there at 5, that we're smart and we work a deal with a team like Jacksonville or the Raiders, trade back and get 2 more first-round picks, bring in more talent, because this is a 2-year process. TD want to see him win this year. I want Lombardi this year, but I want Lombardi every year because I'm a fan just like you all. I wanted Lombardi every single year. Last year, I wanted the Lombardi. Season start, what you think the record going to be, TD? 50-0, whatever. I want the Lombardi every year. I don't care if a flag football team, a Pop Warner 6-year-old flag football team went out there to represent the Dolphins. I want the Lombardi. Even if it ain't realistic, I want the Super Bowl. But at the same token, when we put things into perspective, this is a 2 more year plan. This year, we got a lot of pieces. And next year, finish it off. And now we're ready for war. And people act like we got to make decisions as if this is the end of the world right now. You got to do it now or you'll never do it. Where did that even come from? Where did that come from? I know where it came from. It got stretched out by the Tua lovers that want Tua that bad. They want to rush a decision and make one that's so risky and say, that's why we have all these draft picks to make that type of risk. No, you got all those draft picks to bring in quality players, as many as you possibly can. You want a roster stockpiled, full of great quality players. We already got a good player at that position. What's wrong with having another one? Because good quality players go down. And we don't want to build this the right way, and then all of a sudden one of our good quality players go down and that deficiency exposes us in meaningful games. You don't want to do that at all, man. Get as many good quality players as you can. Fill this roster. Get to a situation where you feel like, man, this guy's on the bench and we all know he should be starting. But the guys that's starting should be starting. That's the situation you want to be in. That way, whoever the soonest contract comes up, it's easy to not overpay him and let him go. And now you replace it with the lower contract guy that's just as productive, if not better. That's how you build a dynasty. That's how you build a dynasty. It's that simple, man. It's not a rush. I know you want your guy, but it's not a rush. That's why I don't have a guy. Well, I love Simmons, don't get me wrong, but I don't have a guy. Because for the last 20 years, every time I identified a guy, we have never drafted that guy in 20 years. And I want y'all to ask yourself right now, in the last 20 years, matter of fact, let's talk about recent. In the last 5 years, before the draft, almost every single one of y'all, if y'all a real Dolphin fan, had a player in mind that you wanted the team to pick. Tell me in the comment section right now, did they pick him? Let me know in the comment section right now, did they pick him? In the last 5 years, when you said, I want that guy right there, let me know in the comment section right now, did they pick him? Did they pick him? Now, I don't want to be mean, because if anybody say yes, I ain't going to call you a liar, but if you really make me look at you like, really? Joe Miller said, I wanted Haskins. Boy, was I wrong. Oh, man. Yes, Minka. Really? Antoine Jefferson. Minka was the guy that you said, I want Minka in this draft. I don't want nobody else over him. You might be right. Minka, that's a good one to pick, man. That was a good one to pick. If that's how you felt, Antoine, that was a good one, man. That was a real good one. I see a few Minkas. Tunsil, yeah, we could. Yes, I would agree that if anybody wanted Tunsil, I would agree with you. But there's no way you thought Tunsil was coming to Miami at the pick that we had. So Tunsil's situation was an outlier because of the whole draft day debacle. That's the only reason you got Tunsil. Tunsil was, some people argue Tunsil was supposed to be the number 1 overall pick. Some people argue that Tunsil was supposed to be the number 1 overall pick. So if you said Tunsil, I wouldn't say you're wrong, but you know you didn't think that he would be a Miami Dolphin, though. I'm talking about the player that you knew would be a Miami Dolphin. That's who we should get, and we can get him. That's what I'm talking about. Tell me when you picked the player that said that's who we should get, and at that pick, he should still be there. It's hard to find one. Somebody said Pat White. Oh, I'm with you. Oh, man, this Pat White stuff is funny, man. I love talking about Pat White, man. Miami Miracle said, let me guess, TD, you don't want anyone. What do you mean? What do you mean I don't want anyone? Let's me get no, I want players. I said Simmons, so I love Simmons. I love Brown. I love Okuda. I love any offensive lineman that's highly rated. I don't care what name you throw out there. If his name get called by the Miami Dolphins, I'm happy. I'm happy. Andre said Deion Jordan. Boy, if you wanted Deion Jordan and was right about us drafting him, man. Boy, but do y'all notice though? I want y'all to look back at some of the greatest players that you wanted in the draft. Most of them, a lot of them are busts right now, or not as good as we'd hope they'd be. Most of them are. So I like guys. Let me tell y'all something too. Believe it or not, I like Tua too. I like Tua Tagovailoa as well. Whether y'all want to believe it or not, matter of fact, I love Tua Tagovailoa in his game. But at the 5th overall pick, I got to be fair. Just because everybody else love him, no, I got to fight back against that. I got to talk against that because there's like 6 other people that I would take ahead of Tua because of his injury. There's like 6 other people I would take ahead of Tua, 7 other people actually I would take ahead of Tua because of his injury, his proneness to injury. Tua reminds me of Tim Tebow. Don't disrespect Tim Tebow like that. The GOAT, one of the GOATs. Tebow is one of the GOATs, man. They did that man wrong in the NFL, man. They should have let that man kept playing. It may not look good, but he was a winner. I'll tell you that much. It may have not have looked good, but he was winning games. He was a winner, man. The man was a winner, man. I don't care. Hey, if a W in that column at the end of the game, let's roll. I don't care if the score is 3-2. We won. We won. Man, let me read some of these comments before I continue, man. Oh, man, I was reading one and it went up so fast. TD, you're treating these draft picks like you, the leprechaun. Oh, man, did I miss that comment, by the way? I'll get back to guarantee Dolphins, Robert Rosen, not draft. Oh. TD, the QB that endorsed Tua has a Lombardi. So, okay, the quarterback that endorsed Tua has a Lombardi. Okay. A quarterback that endorsed Tua also don't have a Lombardi. You know, Dan Marino endorsed Tua. Love his game. He ain't got one. So what am I supposed to care that a QB that has a Lombardi endorsed Tua? Brady probably will come out tomorrow and endorse Tua, Love, Herbert. He'll endorse everybody coming out. What is that supposed to mean? Man, don't get me started today. Anyway, let me read this one. TD, you're treating these draft picks like you, the leprechaun, and that's you, Lucky Charm. We can't keep hoarding picks. When did I say hoard picks? I said trade 5 for number 12 and 19 or something, like with the Raiders or Jacksonville's 9 and 20 or whatever. That's not hoarding because you're going to spend them in the same day. Hoarding is keeping the pick and just sitting it on the shelf as long as you can. Trading 5 to get more picks in the same draft ain't hoarding. It's just bringing in more players. So that's not correct, man. Not correct at all. All right, let me go down to the bottom and read some comments. Average quarterbacks and even below average quarterbacks with a great team around them can win the Super Bowl. TW bluff, people want to ignore that, but that is so true. Now, I don't want no below average quarterback, though, because a below average quarterback, even though they could win a Super Bowl with a great team around them, they also increase the risk that you won't because they're making mistakes. They're contributing to the downfall of the team. Give me a quarterback that's above average. That's it. See, all they got to do is their job and don't be the reason we lose. That's all you need. That's all you need in the NFL is a quarterback that does their job. And the key right here is don't be the reason you lose. That's it. Don't be the guy who threw the pick that ended the game. I keep telling y'all this. See, everybody want to get on me about going in on Patrick Mahomes. I don't even go in on him. I just think, in my opinion, I speak facts. If Damian Williams didn't run that last touchdown and they would have stopped him when the game was still a one-possession game, and they would have stopped him on that third down on that run, that touchdown run, and San Francisco would have got the ball back, went down and scored, and the game was over and San Francisco won, who would have been to blame for the Super Bowl? The guy who threw those picks. The guy who threw those picks would have been a huge reason. And you know what they would have did on TV? Of course, they would have made excuses for him. Don't get me wrong. They would have definitely made excuses for him. But they would have been something like this. You know, Patrick Mahomes didn't have his best game. You can't turn the ball over in the Super Bowl. But you know what? This kid is still great. He has a great future. He's going to be to many more of these. Tell me I'm wrong. Something you don't even do saved the narrative for you. If Damian Williams didn't get that first down and San Francisco went back and made the touchdown, because you know why? Patrick Mahomes would have went down as the reason they lost the Super Bowl. He would have went down as the reason they lost the Super Bowl because too many turnovers. Too many turnovers. In the biggest game, interceptions. They never recovered from those interceptions. That's what they would have said. They never recovered from them. But we want to ignore that. Because how dare you call out his flaws? because he's great. You got to leave the great ones alone and ignore their flaws. That's what y'all want to do. And on the flip side, I'm going to be honest with Jimmy G. Jimmy G, let me give you an example. Jimmy G is an average quarterback, in my opinion. Not above average. I'm starting to feel more average. Because all you got to do is do your job and not be the reason you lose. He wasn't the reason they lost, per se, but he didn't do his job. There was one throw. If he would have made it, they would have been Super Bowl champs. The guy beat his guy in the end zone, and he missed him. Just do your job. He missed it. And you also don't need a great quarterback to make that throw. You just need an above average one. That's all you need is an above average one. But Jimmy G came into the Super Bowl playing average. If that. Some might even say below average. The way he played. And that's how it all comes down to. And people always with this if. Yeah. But it's teams like the Miami Dolphins that always get stuck with the ifs. The ifs happen to us. But since it didn't happen to them, we say if. But you notice over the last 20 years, the if keeps happening to us. And that's why I don't ignore them, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly why I don't ignore the ifs, because the ifs matter. One little small factor, if it was different, would change the outcome. You don't ignore those. You don't breed into them, but you keep them on your mind with the decisions you make of the future, because you cannot risk that if again. You cannot risk that if again. You can't. You got to make decisions to eliminate the ifs. You got to make sure that we know it's a guarantee. TD, what makes you trust Chris Grier? What makes me trust Chris Grier? Let me be honest with you. First of all, a lot of those decisions of the past has nothing to do with Chris Grier. Let me get that straight now. Because people got this notion that, oh, he was here for all those years. Why do we put all that trust in him? He wasn't making the decisions like he is now. That's why he's in control of the whole thing now. Tannenbaum and all those guys made a lot of those decisions of the past. Chris Grier was working his way up. People think just because he was a part of the organization, like he was making all the decisions all these years. Not at all. Not until recently he's been calling the shots. So for number one, understand that and get rid of that false notion that he's been here so long making bad decisions. Why do we care now? That's not true. Number two, why do I trust Grier? I didn't trust Grier until last year. Because this is what makes you trust people. You evaluate things and you make your own decision. Then you see if they're going to make that decision. And when they do, oh, okay. I trust them because it's in line with what I believe. The Laramie Tunsil situation. I evaluated the whole team. I made videos last year looking at who could be cut, who could be traded, whose salary looks like this, who's up for a contract. And in my own brain, I said Laramie Tunsil is a huge asset that can bring back a huge thing, the huge load that can help us for the future rather than keeping him. What he can bring back is more valuable than just keeping the one player. And that's why I made the video. Laramie Tunsil can get traded, y'all. And everybody, I had people unsubscribe to the channel, say, you're an idiot. I done listened to this stupidness long enough. That's what people told me. It was my own personal belief that he could get traded. And then when it happened, man, TD, you called it. I didn't call it. I just put reasoning together. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Doesn't mean that it's going to happen. But when you put things together and they start to do it, that's when you start building trust, because now you're feeling like I see their thought processes here. I see exactly why they're doing what they're doing. So the more I sit here and play, and I'm gonna make some of y'all feel good with this that don't like me. The more I sit here and play GM, because that's what I'm doing. I'm playing GM. But the good thing about me playing GM, at least I do research. I read on every player. I read about the team. I listen to every interview. I get all the information I can coming out of that organization to make my own informed decision. And then when I say this is what should happen or what I believe is going to happen, I sit back and wow, it happened. That's what research does for you. Oh, it didn't happen. I don't jump on and say, oh, they should have did this. Why would they do that? I sit back and evaluate why they did it, because it can change over time. Now I see why they made that decision. Or now I see why they shouldn't have made the decision. And I told them, I said they shouldn't have. Either way, I'm not trying to be right here. That's the main difference. So for people who always want to come in the comment section and argue with me, I'm not trying to be right. I'm just trying to make sense of it all. That's it. In the last 20 years, I was like many of you. We wasn't caring about making sense of it all. We just wanted to know who we picked and are we winning. And some of us care, but we didn't do the research ourselves to understand why they made the decisions they making. I am not trying to be right here. I'm just trying to make sense of it all. So I work my behind off when I'm not on this camera, reading, listening, researching. I work my behind off doing that so that if I was the GM in that front office, I could say, here's what I would do. And when we do it, it makes me feel good as a person, not to prove anybody wrong. And when we don't, I sit back and I say, well, time will tell, and let's see why they did it. Sometimes I say, that's why we did it. Makes sense. And sometimes I say, I knew we shouldn't have did it, and now look, it's coming to bite us. That's when I stop trusting people. That's when I start saying that was a bad decision, and I have no idea why they made it. That's when I start to make conclusions of, you guessed. So taking Tua Tagovailoa, in my opinion, based off of my research and my common sense, you'd be guessing, because I know there's 7 players rated higher than him in this draft right now because of all the red flags. Doesn't mean 7 players are better if he stays healthy. It doesn't mean that 7 players are better than him if he stays healthy. But I'm just supposed to ignore that. No, I'm making sense of it all. I'm trying to make sense of it all. So no need to argue with me. No need to argue with me. I ain't trying to be right, because when I'm wrong, I'm good with that too, because I learn. I learn when I'm wrong. And I always say, correct me when I'm wrong, but acknowledge me when I'm right. It's that simple. Correct me when I'm wrong, and I'm open to correction. That's what I want some of y'all to realize. I am open to correction. If I'm wrong, let me hear your reasoning. And if I have a rebuttal to that, because in my mind, I really have a reason why your reason doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't mean that I'm trying to be right. It's just, that's what debate is. But time will tell. That's all that matters, y'all. Time will tell. And nobody should be mad about being wrong, because being wrong is how you become educated. It's one of the ways you become educated. But you're going to be right more than you're wrong if you do your research and you actually read, listen, and do all that stuff. So it's that serious. So I don't want people to go back and forth with me in my email trying to fight me. Oh, you stupid. You don't know that. That's what I deal with all day. I'm reading a lot of that stuff. And I do read it because I'm searching for information. Some people come in my inbox and have you thought about it this way? And my mind is blown. Whoa, that's a good scenario. And I go live. Oh man, I got to give y'all this scenario. I go live. So this ain't a fight over here at TDPHINSTALK, y'all. I know we get on here, debate, we go crazy, we yell, but that's passion. That's the fun part. To me, that's the fun part. But when it comes to the information, listen, I ain't no more right than y'all. But time does tell. Time does tell. It's that simple. We can go out there on Thursday night and draft Tua Tagovailoa. That means time told us something. And TD is going to say, let's go. Because I'm in my back of my mind, I think there was better options on the board. But you know what? Time will tell. The kid go out for the next 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years, balling for us, leading us to Super Bowl. TD was wrong. And it doesn't hurt me to be wrong. That means I learned something. But it's too many people taking these things personal. No need to. No need to. This ain't no drama. This ain't no beef. We all won, Miami Dolphin fans. And that's why I try to make this the home of it. The real Miami Dolphin fans. We're all one, man. I love y'all, man. I know some of y'all don't like that, but I gotta hit you with them love jabs. I love you. I love you. I love you anyway, man. Let's have fun, man. That's what this is for. That's why I can't wait for Thursday. We're gonna have a phenomenal draft party. I got some surprises for y'all, some giveaways, different stuff, man. This is gonna be. I'm trying to make this next level if I can, man. There's a few things gotta come in, but we're gonna have some fun, man. I wouldn't want to watch the draft with nobody but y'all, man. We're going to be here. We're going to be live. This is going to be a party, man. This is going to be a party. Your sunshine, you're my sunshine said you state opinions like facts. That makes no sense to me. Either it's an opinion or it's a fact. I may sound real firm about my opinion, and that may rub you the wrong way, but you state opinions like facts. That's a personal feeling, bro. The only thing I saw it was the beginning of that sentence. You state opinions. You feel like they're I state them like facts. That has nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with me. I'm sorry, man. Hey, I like that better. radically centerist said TD has factual opinions. I ain't saying he did. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is, man. That's what it is, man. I don't know. I let y'all decide that, man. I let y'all decide it. Oh man, new camera looking crisp. No, it's not a new camera. That's interesting to me. That's interesting to me. It's not a new camera. I think it might be the lighting. The way I got the lighting set up is more defined. Maybe that's what it is. But it's not a new camera. Let me see. TD, what's up? What's up to the room? Like I said earlier, guys, we actually just moved like a month and a half ago, and they had to paint, so they painted. So I'll be back. I'll listen. Y'all will see me with y'all. Y'all will be happy on Thursday. I'll just put it like that. All right. All right. Thursday, y'all. So y'all just bear with the blankness right now. All right. If y'all missing the dolphinness, all right. I got the shirt, got the headphones on. You know, we try. Hey, and again, ignore the haircut, man. Again, I'm trying to let it look raggedy until Thursday. Make it sharp, like Pop say. You got to coordinate, make it sharp, man. This draft party gonna be nice, man. Some Miami Dolphins paint in the new room. Why the Dolphins posters down and pictures? I just explained it. Maybe that comment came through a little later, man. People have no idea what his position was prior to being a GM. It's crazy. Oh, you must be talking about Greer. Yeah, man, we can go through that whole timeline. I mean, the man started as a scout. I mean, he went through different levels of the organization. Who you like at the 5th pick? Best player available between these players: Okuda, Simmons, Burrow, Brown, Wirfs. I'm probably missing something. I ain't got my board in front of me. Shave your head, TD. Nice, clean look. But I guess I named 5 players. So any one of them that fall right there, I got at 5. Now, if we talking about at 9, Tua will probably be there. And I would go Tua myself. For all the people who think I hate the kid, if he's there at 9, I would probably go Tua myself. But I'm not going to pass up on somebody who probably has a higher overall grade at 5. I'm not. All but Okuda. Why not? BPA, baby. TD, why not try out Winston at QB instead of drafting one this year? I'll kick back on that and say, why not do both? If you want to try out Winston. Because I think Winston might go somewhere and actually shine. I mean, there's a lot to be said about, him, quote unquote, getting his eyes fixed. He can see now. You'd be taking a chance, but at the right price, it might be more than worth it. I mean, look at what happened with Tannehill. Look what happened with Tannehill. Man, you crazy, TD. I would not draft him at 9. Let me tell you why it's easier to draft him at 9 for me. Because if you traded the 5th pick and you did go to 9, which is whose pick is that? The Jags, I think. 9 and 20, I think, is their picks. You're still picking up some insurance with the number 20th pick to bring another good player on this team, another offensive lineman maybe. So I'm good with that. I'm good with grabbing him at 9 if in the process I got another quality offensive lineman that we hope is going to be a starter in day 1 at the 20th overall pick. That's why. If he's there at 9, I don't mind wasting. I mean, not wasting. I mean, that's unfair to him to say waste. Time will tell. But I would definitely get him at 9 because I think that he, with his injuries and everything put together, I know he right now is a top 11 or 12 player. Some will argue 8, 9, 10. I just leave room for wiggle based off of team needs. He's definitely a top 12 player. So if he's there at 9, I would definitely get Tua Tagovailoa because I got the 20th pick as well. I could still get me a trench player. I could still get a right guard, or I could still get a center. I could still get a tackle. So at least let me feel good about getting insurance for the pick. So if number 9 don't work out, but look at number 20. He's possibly an all-pro starter. Who knows? It was all worth it. You see what I mean? So it's insurance. If both of them go wrong, then hey, it was what it was. At least you had a higher probability instead of getting them at 5 and then it went wrong. Ugh. Might as well get him at 5 then. Joe Miller, come on, man. And I ain't trying to get on you, bro, but what sense that make? If you could trade 5 to get him at 9 and pick up a number 20 pick, number 20, why would you might as well have got him at 5? So in other words, the scenario is get Tua at 5 or get him at 9 and get an offensive lineman at 20. And 5 is better? No, 9 is better with the offensive player. Plus, you're spending less money at number 9 than the number 5th overall pick. I'm gonna leave that alone. This isn't Madden football, bro. You gotta elaborate on what you mean by that because I know it's not Madden. So tell us why you said that, and that might actually help the conversation be more productive. Let me see. Anyone like the idea of Justin Herbert in the 1st or 2nd round? I think a lot of people, D-Wade, they love that scenario. A lot of people are high on Justin Herbert as well. Some people are arguing that we might take Justin Herbert at 5. Again, another player that I wouldn't take at 5. Jordan Love, I wouldn't take at 5 either. Somebody told me we were taking Jordan Love, but I wouldn't do it at 5. I wouldn't do it at 5. Because none of the quarterbacks outside of Burrow are the 5th best player in this draft when you look at everything. Playing skills, proneness to injury, testing, personality, leadership, everything. None of the quarterbacks outside of Love is a top 5 player in this draft. Maybe top 5 in their position, obviously, but they're not top 5. So, I would get Herbert at 18 or in that trade back situation, I would get him. There go our clarification. TDPHINSTALK, getting player X at 20 is better than taking player X at 25. Okay, I agree with that. Getting them at 20 is better than taking them at 25. I definitely agree with that. You mean because you're going to have a higher probability of getting them at 20. But if you can get the same player at 20 and the same player at 25, then you get them at 25. Especially if you trading out of 20 to move to 25. If you know that guy's going to be there at 25 and you got the 20th pick, you get him at 25 and pick up another asset. What sense does it make not to? That makes no sense whatsoever not to. Makes no sense whatsoever, man. You have to. That's like saying Joe Burrow's there at 1. But everything, but somebody tells you you can get Joe Burrow at number 10. You gonna try to get him at 1? No, you're gonna get him at 10 if you know you can get him at 10 and pick up assets in the process. Makes no sense. Of course, in real life, that's taking a chance because somebody gonna take him in the top 10. But if you know that he's gonna be there at 10, you're gonna get him at 10. You're gonna pay less than the person that you draft at 1. The person at the number 1 overall pick makes more money than the person at the number 10 pick. You're saving money and picking up more assets. That's just, I mean, am I off here? Well, maybe. Trade X and the 18th pick to Lions for the 3rd and draft Okuda at 3 and Simmons at 5. One of those guys I wouldn't get. Honestly, I never sat down and thought about that, because if we had the number 3 and the number 5 pick and they both were going to be defense, then one of them got to be Brown. In my opinion, that's what I would go with. If we got the number 3 and number 5 pick, one of them got to be Derrick Brown. One of those picks got to be, if we were going both of them defense, got to be Brown. Got to be Brown. What would y'all do in that situation? If it had to be defense, would it be Okuda and Simmons, or would it be Brown and any one of those two guys? I just had now we could talk about my own personal preference of drooling about a situation. I want us to have the right nose tackle at all costs, because it hurt my feelings when teams run on us at will. It hurts my feelings, y'all. When a team running the ball and you can't stop it and it's first down after first down after first down, I've seen too much of that in the last 20 years. That hurts my feelings. When, and they just tiring your defense out. Even if your offense got going, now your defense giving up. Oh, no. I done seen too much of that in the last 20 years of not being able to stop the run. I just have now that's TD's personal. Nose tackle. Give me a nose tackle at 5. I'm happy. Man. Do y'all understand? I'm just like some of y'all want Tua. If they say Tua, how happy you'll be. Let them say Brown at 5. Man, I'm ecstatic. Man, listen. Because, man, I just it hurts my feelings to see running backs run on us on this defense. It's demoralizing, not just for the fans, but for the team itself. For the team itself, man. Ooh, no, I can't live in that world. That hurts. It really does, man. But yeah, either way, good players, man. Mr. Miami says, shake the cup. See, Mr. Miami been here for, I ain't got enough ice. Maybe you can hear it a little bit. A little bit of ice. It's all melting down, man. If y'all watch me on Sunday games, you know what shake the cup mean, man. Bring some good luck. Say that again, TD. I don't know which part, but probably about teams running on us. I can't do it. We got to stop the run, man. Let them say Brown, TD. I would be happy, man. Tighten up will win Super Bowl 55. I don't think the Titans going to win the Super Bowl because we are. But, I mean, they got a good team. They got to figure out how they're going to replace the offensive lineman they lost. They got to figure that out, man. TD, how you feel about trading back to 9, getting the extra pick, using all of them to address other needs, and then – oh, I just lost it. Let me go back to it. And then TD, how you feel about trading back to 9, getting that extra pick, using all of them to address other needs, and then getting Hurts in the second round? Banjo, I'm not going to play favorites here and say, yay, go get Hurts. Believe it or not, that's my dream scenario. Trading out, getting the extra pick, and picking 4 players in this first round that are going to plug 4 holes. 2 offensive linemen, a safety, and a nose tackle. Oh my gosh. If we can get all 4 of those in the first round, a nose tackle, a safety, and 2 offensive linemen, man, people are going to be mad about it, but we won the draft. Again, it's not the sexy picks, but they're the right ones. That's actually what you just said is my dream scenario. But the whole quarterback getting Hurts later, I have no invested interest on whatever one it is. It's whatever one they believe in late, if they were to have to get one late. Grab one of those guys in the 2nd or 3rd round and have him on that roster competing. Who knows? Might be the next Brady, might be the next Pat White. Who knows? So I have no vested interest on a specific person. And Hurts to be that guy. It may not be bad. I'm not going to say I don't like it. I'm not against that, especially at a 2nd or 3rd round pick. I'm not against it. But again, you give me 4 position players outside of the quarterback in the first round, 4. But I do have a requirement. 2 of them got to be on the O-line. I'm sorry. 2 of them got to be on the O-line. Required minimum of 2. Minimum of 2 on the O-line. And 2 more, hopefully on defense. See, I'm not a fan of drafting a wide receiver in the first round this year. I'm not a fan of drafting a running back in the first round this year. I'm not a fan of it. You hear the Leonard Fournette situation coming out. Leonard Fournette might actually be an option for the Miami Dolphins. It's been rumored that we're one of the teams that have inquired about it. Not saying we're going to do it, but I could see that happening. I could see a trade and they're saying a 2nd round pick. That's some good capital, but if we're looking for a running back anyway, and the guy is only making $4.5 million this due, he does have those injuries to be concerned about. But you also have Taylor that you brought in. Jonathan Taylor, Leonard Fournette, and whoever wins the 3rd back spot. I could ride with that for a 2nd round pick. Well, let me slow down, man. Let me slow down. Let me look up his age. You know me, I got to go get the facts. Let me look up his age real quick. I got to evaluate the whole situation. 25 years old. I'm down for it. I'm down for it. He's 25 years old, man. And he just turned 25 in January. I'm down for it. He fits the ideal prototypical. He's the prototypical player that we want. Go look at Chan Gailey's history. He loves big backs. Big backs that's Chan Gailey. And everybody that we brought in free agency, same age, 24, 25, or 26. We're hoping to get their prime out of them, their most polished moments of their career out of them. They've gotten through all the jitters. They understand the game. They understand what contact feels like. They understand the ins and outs of the feeling of the National Football League, what to expect on a Sunday. They found certain things that give them the competitive edge. They found certain things that give other people the competitive edge that they can avoid. This is the premier years for this is supposed to be the premier years for every player. And every free agent we brought in fits that prototype. Fits it. They fit the bill. And if we were bringing him in to be the number one lead back, I'd have I don't know. But when we got Taylor, it's like, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and bring the committee, less of a load on him. That'll help him stay healthy. It still can get hurt, but it'll help the chances of staying healthy. And you probably will be able to get his next deal at a good price. You might be able to get the next deal at a really good price. Let me see, and let me look at his contract situation. Here we go. It's coming up now. All right, here we go. 2020, yep, making $4 million. And then we have a choice whether we want to sign him on a 5th-year option or let him go. And with the injury history, we might be able to get and this is a prove-it year for him. This is the time you want to bring in a guy like that because he has to give you his best work, number one. And if he gives you his best work, he's already doing it by committee, so his numbers aren't Pro Bowl-ish. So you might be able to sign him on a good 2-3 year deal after this at the right price. 3-year, $15 million contract. 3-year, if he does really good, 3-year, $18 million contract. You might get away with that if you run Jonathan and him on a committee basis. This is actually an ideal player you want to bring in. Ideal. Former first-round pick, number 4 overall. I don't see why that would be a bad move if you're looking to bring in one of these rookies. If you're looking to bring in one of these rookies in the 2nd round, I don't see why it'll be a bad idea. Some of y'all have to understand, do you want a rookie? Or do you want a guy coming off of his rookie contract who still has 4 good years in his body? That's exactly why Flores got all these type of prototypical guys in free agency. They know his system. They're veterans now, and they've gotten they're past their learning curve. The learning curve is there's no excuse now. Put up or shut up now. In that locker room, there's a lot of leadership that just came in. They're the new face of a franchise now. All these guys would be the face of a franchise in their own right. Some of y'all say a rookie. Do you know what you're going to get in Leonard Fournette? If healthy, at a low price? But you want to go a rookie who ain't even go through the period of hitting a wall, hit the wall yet, who still got to learn how to become a pro with the chance of still being a bust? But you know what you're going to get in Leonard Fournette. You know what you're going to get. I don't know. Fournette ain't a pass catcher. What about Taylor? See, you don't need him to be. It's situational football. That's who's going to be in the game. I mean, of course, you want him to be, though, you know. 2,000-yard seasons in 3 seasons. 3 years in this league and had 2,000-yard seasons. In 2018, he had almost 500 yards, but he only played half the season. 8 games. And when people say he get injured too much, he played almost his entire rookie season. He got hurt in 2018 and came back last year in 2019 and played 15 games. So are we really talking about injuries? Maybe. What is our cap space, TD? Nobody that tells you our cap space right now would be 100% accurate because they constantly readjust contracts to prepare for what they're about to do. I think we just waived 6 players, by the way. We cut 6 players on the roster, which is tough as well. I think Wiltz was one of them. We cut 6 players on our roster recently. I got to go get all the updates on it. And do some more research on it. I just haven't had the time over the last few days. Been very busy. Very busy, man. Somebody said 24 million, 24. Yeah, but then when you factor in the draft picks and all of that. And right now, the team could be saying we want Fournette. Let's go ahead and make some more space. Call this guy, that guy, and this guy. That's structure their deal to give them less now, but add a little bit more guaranteed, or do this or do that. That's the stuff that happens all day, every day. That's why team numbers change. They say the Chiefs have $200 and something in salary cap left. In a month from now, they could end up having 10 million available. Just depends on if they go through their current roster, call a few guys and restructure things just to get some money now. So that's something that moves all the time. It moves, but again, Fournette, $4.5 million. $4.5 million. Do you know whoever we draft in the first round, when you add their signing bonus and all of that, that's what that is? Man. Yes, that is why I always say the cap isn't a real thing. Yeah, it's a real thing, but it's not in that sense, but it does catch up to you. If you keep manipulating stuff like that, at some point you're going to need a massive relief. And it's always the teams that got some of the biggest, best players ever. And that's why they can't keep them. Because they've already stretched their situation so thin that at some point you got to get rid of the biggest piece on the chessboard just to breathe again. It'll catch up, especially if you're a contending team year after year after year and you're trying to make it better and better. Cowboys, they if you ask me, they're in the worst situation in the league. I mean, they signed some people to 7 and 8 year deals just to stretch it out. It's crazy, man, and it'll catch up to them. Imagine that person you signed on an 8-year deal getting hurt and having an injury that is hard to come back from. You might cut them, but you dead capped up for the next 4 years. Look what Ndamukong Suh did to us. The man wasn't even on our roster and we were still paying him for 3 years. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Ndamukong Suh wasn't even on our roster and we still been paying him for like 3 years. Still paying this man. Well, counting against the cap, I should say, to be more politically correct. That's what you don't want. That's what you definitely don't want. That's what you don't want, man. Just terrible. Fournette is like Ricky Williams. If that stands to be true, give me Fournette. I'll take that all day, man. I'll take it all day. And he coming off of a season where he rushed for 4.3 yards per carry, the highest in his career. And actually, don't sit here and tell me he don't catch the ball. Fournette looks amazing in catching the ball. They threw the ball at him 100 times and he caught 76 balls, man. That's 76% completion percentage. Yeah, the man rushed for almost 1,200 yards and almost 600 yards reception last year. No, don't give me he not a catching back. No, don't tell me that. 100 targets and he caught 76 of them? That's sweet. That is sweet. No, I was taking your word for it, but the numbers are right here, man. 76% completion percentage. The year before that, he was 85% completion percentage. In the year before that, he was 75% again. He has a career 77% completion percentage in 3 seasons. 77. No, y'all gonna have to miss me with that one. He definitely catching that ball out the backfield. doing it quite well. He's injury prone. You mean prone to injury, Joe Miller. But again, he did have a neck injury. But time will tell, man. We don't know. But I think he's a guy that's worth the risk. If the physicals check out, you bring him in the physicals. You talk about a second round. This ain't a first round situation where you're giving up a first round pick. It'll be an absolutely no then. But you're talking about a second round pick for a guy who you know can run the ball on the pro level. Not coming out of college and you don't know. A guy that you know that can run the ball on a pro level. No. And hey, I say that you possibly draft a running back anyway to learn behind Fournette and Taylor. Why not? Why not? Draft the back and bring in Fournette. That wouldn't be a bad idea, man. It would not be a bad idea at all. This is sweet, man. Hey, guys, make sure you hit that like button. We have still over 300 people in the room. Be careful, Cammy. We have over 300 people in the room. T, are you going to watch Last Dance? Watch Last Dance? I think I saw Last Dance if you talk about the movie. No. It's Howard T. Can't say Tua is injury prone then. I know that. I said he's prone to injury. Just like I said Fournette. I was correcting you with Fournette and say he's prone to injury, not injury prone. Just like Tua, he's prone to injury, not injury prone. There is a difference. We learned that the other day on the stream I did. TD, the Bulls with MJ. Oh, you mean the MJ special? I haven't seen it yet. When does it air again? I don't remember. When does it air? Knowing y'all, no, it'll be airing right now. Last day, y'all gotta let me know when it air because everybody in the comment section bringing it up. When does it come out? Is it today? Tonight at 9 p.m. ESPN. I'm gonna watch it, of course. I might have to. Me and the wife got some things we got to do this evening. No. We got a few things we got to do this evening, so I might watch it tomorrow. But that'll be a good one, man. The greatest, watching the greatest of all time, no questions asked, hands down. All right. But let me ask y'all before I get out of here, guys. Any last questions you all have? Put them in the comment section now. I'm gonna try to answer a few of them before I go. Ain't nothing better to watch. The GOAT, LeBron, the GOAT. Stop it, Jeremy Childs. Listen, man, you keep living in your alter world, thinking LeBron is the GOAT. Listen, matter of fact, I want to know how old you are saying that. See, if you're, let me see. If you're under 28 years old and you think LeBron the GOAT, I expect that from you. I expect you to feel that way. I expect that. I expect that, man. That means you were 6 years old. Matter of fact, you could be under 30 probably. You was 8 years old. I expect that. But if I'm 35 years old and I know that Jordan is the GOAT and I got to watch both of them and I was a little kid, I watched Jordan with poor quality on TV where you I mean, if you watch today, you wouldn't even have interest in watching the way that it looked then. I mean, if you think LeBron is the GOAT, LeBron ain't even got no moves, man. See, nobody talk about it. I know we get off subject, but LeBron ain't even got no moves, no signature moves, no this and that. He's just a bulldozer, imposing his will, using his body to get buckets. And I like it. Use what you got. That's what makes him great. But to say the greatest, Kobe's better than LeBron in that aspect. Moves, work, putting in work. Why you think LeBron comes up so small in finals? Because the teams that beat him in the biggest games have always, all right, just cloud the middle of the court and make everybody else beat you. Why you think LeBron even have the notion of, I'm going to make the smartest play and pass to the open guy? Yeah, because you have to. because they just cloud the middle and they neutralize you. It wasn't no such thing as neutralizing Jordan unless you were the bad boy Pistons and stuff beating them up. The only way you neutralized Jordan was to beat him up. And he learned how to fight through that too. Nah, man, y'all better stop that mess, man. LeBron is a better passer because he has to pass, because they know his game. Clog the middle, and it's all day. Let me tell you another thing about LeBron that nobody noticed. You know how LeBron be just jacking up them deep threes or threes at any given moment? The only time he ever does that is when he's up by 6 or more points late in the game, because he feels he has wiggle room to do it. And yeah, he made one, because remember the young LeBron early in his career, he wouldn't have taken the shot for nothing if he was tied up by 2 or down by 2, down by 4. And they went, oh, he doesn't take the shot. He doesn't put it on his shoulder late in the game, because every time he tried, he missed. Every time he tried, he missed. Everybody ignores the first half of LeBron's career. Everybody ignores it. All the LeBron fans ignore the first half of his career. He missed all the big shots. Every single one of them. That's why when he finally made one in Cleveland, he ran and celebrated like it was a championship, and it wasn't even a championship. Man, the GOAT. No. My bad, my son pulling my lights down. No, Cammy, leave that one alone, okay? Y'all got to stop that mess. Calling LeBron the GOAT, man. Boy, you saw miracles happen with Jordan. You saw a man flying in the air, reverse switching hands. You saw unbelievableness. Not somebody bulldozing to the rim, using his body for separation and getting the bucket at the end, making you happy because you're a fan. Nah, you saw things you didn't think you could see. LeBron don't show you nothing that you don't think you can see. He just shows you him, a great player getting buckets. And you like it, and I like it. I like LeBron. I love LeBron. Matter of fact, he's playing on the team that I love right now. I'm actually a Celtics fan, but I root for the Lakers because I like players like Rondo, D Wade, and stuff. Players that were nobody that became somebody. One moment, guys. Be careful. Yeah, man. But that's a whole nother conversation, man. But this whole LeBron, the GOAT stuff, it makes for good theater because there's a lot of people that don't know better, so it makes a good argument. Stop it now. Please stop, y'all. LeBron has better stats than MJ. Not talking about championships, though. Even if I agree or not, okay. He got better stats. Bulldozing to the rim. In a softer league. In a league you can't hand check. In a league that if somebody Jordan them used to hand check. Jordan used to slap people's hand. That's why Scottie Pippen came out and said Jordan probably would have averaged 45 today. In today's NBA, because all he gets to shoot. He gets to just shoot. And nobody is going to sit here and debate who the better shooter is. And I don't care if you go to stats and say that, oh, LeBron percentage is higher. Layups, man. Bulldozing to the basket. Nobody going to sit here and say that LeBron is a better shooter than Jordan. Don't even try it. Don't even try it. Jordan would have averaged probably 50 if you asked me today. Just shooting the ball? Come on, man. They used to fight, man. I showed my wife that a few months ago, man. I said, look at these hard fouls in the NBA back then. And she was like, oh my gosh, did he get kicked out? I said, no, those were common fouls then. Those were common fouls. You literally had to fight to get a tech. You had to fight to get a tech. Easy, man. in today's world, man. You can cough on it. See, this is how you know. This is how you know, y'all. Look at LeBron is a prime example. I think they do better now, honestly. But put it like this: back in the day, when not back in the day, but when LeBron first was in this league, his first like 6 years in the league, the man would have more points from free throws than he'd have points from field goals. Be like LeBron had 18 free throws today and ended the game with 32 points. He made 14 points worth of baskets and 18 free throws. Come on, man. And now I think they do it more fair because he be crying for them calls. They don't give LeBron just anything. He got to earn it. I think later in his career, that's why I appreciate him a lot more now, because he's earning what he's getting a lot more now. They're not pacifying him or babying him. They really making him earn everything now. And that's why I love even about this season, which hopefully they keep going somehow. He's earning it. And that's why I'm respecting LeBron a lot more now. But early in his career, the man couldn't do nothing. The man couldn't finish a game to save his life. And then they want to come out with these fake stats, talk about LeBron is more clutch. Y'all know what clutch mean, y'all? That mean making a basket in the last 3 minutes. So LeBron can make the go-ahead basket is what they call it. If you made a go-ahead basket in the last 3 minutes, that's considered game winners, y'all. Or like not buzzer beaters, but game winners. And LeBron has more than anyone. Stop. Let's go ahead and break that down to the last 50 seconds of a game. That man ain't even close. He ain't even close to Jordan. Talk about it's the right move to make the right pass. Yeah, well, if you the GOAT, it don't matter if the right move is to make the pass. You gonna get that bucket and not rely on nobody else. And that's what Jordan did. Double team, triple team. Jordan getting buckets. Few people open on the wing. Jordan getting buckets. Now, there's been some big plays in history where Jordan passed it, and I guess it was a smarter play because his guy made the bucket. But more times than none, Jordan got buckets. Double team, triple team, Jordan getting buckets. LeBron, double team, triple team, pass it 99% of the time. And you talk about the GOAT. To be the GOAT, you got to beat the odds, not play them. Hey, I actually like that when I said it. To be the GOAT, you got to beat the odds, not play them. Beating the odds is taking the shot with a triple team. Playing the odds is making the pass every time. Can't be the GOAT. Can't be, man. Ain't no question about it. Ain't no question. Ray Allen saved LeBrick by scoring 3-point shot, game winner on Christmas Day. I ain't even gonna knock him on that, man. You know, that's team basketball. Sometimes that's what it takes. And that wasn't even a pass from LeBron. It was just actually, that was a missed shot by LeBron, rebounded by Bosh, I believe, kicked out to Allen. Let me repeat that. I guess he did save LeBron because that game-winning shot was a missed shot by LeBron, rebound by Bosh, kicked out to Ray Allen for the game winner. The man misses clutch shots. And they want to talk about clutch shots or shots made in the last 3 minutes. Stop moving the goalpost. Clutch shot, last 30 to 50 seconds. That's clutch. They had to move. That's what all us used to think clutch was. 3, 2, 1, clutch. LeBron coming to the league and now clutch is the last 3 minutes. Get out of here with that mess, man. This man missed more buzzer beaters and, man, come on, man. And the thing about him, they don't constitute buzzer beaters because it's 30 seconds on the clock. They tied up, and LeBron take the shot and miss it. Now they on defense for 5 seconds. It's no longer, it doesn't constitute a buzzer beater because the buzzer didn't go off. Well, that was the last time he had a chance to score on his team. It's crazy, man. Back to football for a moment, TD. How would you feel about the Phins obtaining safety Jamal Adams from the Plains for a 3rd and 4th round pick? Depending on what he's going to cost. Anybody you bring up to me, what do you think about us getting this guy? What do you think about us getting that guy? How much is it going to cost? How much is it going to cost? That's all that matters. If he can help the team, I'm all for it. But how much is it going to cost? That's what matters, man. TD, have you looked at Von Hamilton at nose tackle? Yes, good option, man. TD, stay talking football. I'm talking it again, man. Money. Let's see here. We don't call the Jets the Plains. They're the pets. These bums are beneath us. Oh, I didn't even know that the Jets were called the Plains. But I'm with it. I want them to be called the Jets, though, because Jets sucks. All right. TD Malik. Antoine Winfield Jr. is hands down the best safety in this year's draft. I think that Antoine Winfield could end up a Dolphin, though. I think he can end up a Dolphin in this draft. I really do. I think he can end up a Dolphin, man. We'll see. I just hate saying somebody going to end up a Dolphin because it never happened for me. I have never gotten it right back when I didn't study. When I didn't learn the team and the needs and this and that, I just said, that's the great player. I want him. He should be available there. I've never been right. Never. But I really do think that where he's going to fall, we're going to have a pick and he's going to be on the board right around where he should be on the board. And I think that could be a pick that we definitely make, y'all. We need somebody on the back end. We can't trust the guys we got now. Man, Rosen for Super Bowl MVP. Time will tell, right? I say tackle 18 and Cesar Ruiz, and then safety and running back in the second rounds. Okay. Man, that ain't bad. Cam is very damaged goods. Man, these guys, Cam, Winston, I think that if they're in the right situation, they could do really well. Especially Winston, he got to clean up them turnovers. Deshaun Watson down here in Miami working out with the Dan Marino t-shirt on. I saw that, but nobody want to point out he still had on his Baltimore Ravens game pants. It looks like jersey pants on. Look at that picture, man. So, yeah, he got on his Dan Marino shirt, but he might them Ravens jersey pants that he got on under it, man. And it ain't so much Miami Dolphins shirt, just a Dan Marino shirt, and that's just him paying homage. Nothing's wrong with that. I don't read into that. Now, if he didn't have on those Raven pants, I still wouldn't read into it, but I'd be like, ooh, just to make it something. I don't know. But no, I don't look at that as anything. 80% of the NFL players live in Miami, which is not 80, but yes, a large percent of them do, though. Good pick, Steve. Forget about Tua tuna fish. Somebody at my door, and we've been going for about 2 hours. So I guess this is a good stopping point. I appreciate y'all tuning in to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Y'all hit that like button on y'all way out. Get ready for this draft party on Thursday. It is going to be a blast. I will see y'all soon. Make sure y'all check me out, my content on dolphinstalk.com. Make sure you hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TD Fans Talk. I'm everywhere, baby. I'll see y'all soon. Peace. Love y'all, man.